most memorable probably was the day I was shot down. But there's a better story. About 2 weeks before I was shot down, we were on a target. It was Kep airfield. It was the first time we got, you've heard of Kep, because a lot of guys have been on Kep. And it was the first time that we could go in and actually bomb the enemy's runways. And these MiGs would come up and it was their territory. You know, we were 100 miles out at sea, and we had to fly into their territory, and they would launch these MiGs off these runways, and they'd come up and harass us. And so we're getting into we're probably 30 miles from Kep, all right? And I take a anti-aircraft shell in my starboard engine. 57 millimeter shell blows a hole about that big in engine, and not only did it set the engine on fire, but it took out one of the missiles. Actually, it torched off one of my Sparrow missiles. So I got a missile hanging on the airplane, which is burning. And then, in addition to that, it punched a hole in one of my fuel tanks. So I'm on skipper's wing, and he looks over there, and he sees what's going on, and he said, going back to the ship, you know, you can't help us here. So I got this airplane. I got one engine on fire. I got holes, obviously, big holes in the airplane. I'm losing fuel out of this one tank, and I point the nose of the airplane back towards the beach. Kep is, I don't know, 100 miles maybe from the beach. And so I'm looking, because I know that if I can get over the water, even if I have to punch out of this jet, my co-pilot and I are going to be okay. And so I'm looking for the water, you know. I'm sitting there going as fast as I can with this engine, and the fire went out on my starboard engine, so I'm okay there. But I still only have one engine. And so I finally see, I said, Don Monk was my radar intercept officer. Don, I said, I can see the beach. We're gonna be okay. He said, Charlie, you got 3 MiGs at 1 o'clock high. I got 3 MiG-17s that are coming in on me. Okay, I didn't think that was fair. You know, I want to get back to the ship. You know? And here they go, and they come down. And of course, I am a wounded duck to start with. I only have one engine, and I got a hole in the airplane, and I'm leaking fuel. So here they come, and I start to hassle with these guys. Now, I don't know how low I really was, but I have this memory that I was looking up at the insulators on telephone poles. I was that low. And so I'm hassling with these guys. Okay, now from an F4, the F4 was designed as a high altitude supersonic interceptor. We were a Mach 2 airplane. We were supposed to go faster than anything in the air, okay? So they didn't think that a pilot ever needed to see behind him because nothing was ever gonna be back there. And so my visibility, the visibility for an F4 Phantom is from about probably 4 o'clock to about 8 o'clock. You can't see anything behind you. You got an ejection seat, and you got your back seater, and you got all this airplane. So I can't see these guys. I got them cornered on my 6 o'clock position, but I can't see them. Don Monk, my radar intercept officer, he can't see back either. He had unstrapped totally 6 places. You're strapped in that seat 6 places. He had unstrapped and got back. He's kneeled down on his ejection seat looking out the back of the airplane. Okay, so he's reaching over to his microphone. He's telling me, he's calling the MiGs. And he said, okay, Charlie, you got one coming. Okay, it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Oh, it's 6 o'clock, missiles away. The MiG shot his heat-seeking missile at me, and I knew it. Well, I'm thinking the heat seeker, my starboard engine is dead. I've got my port engine in full afterburner. Okay, that missile is on my afterburner. I said, I just shut off the engine. I shut off my port engine. Now, this F4 Phantom can go 1,400 miles an hour, but when you got no power on it, it comes down like a greased anvil. I mean, we started to fall. But By this time, I had turned around and I could see that missile, and the thing just went ballistic. It just tumbled out of the sky. What a great relief that was. I hit the igniter, started my good engine again, pulled up the other side of the turn. Those 3 MiGs shot 2 of their atolls apiece. I dodged 6 missiles that day because my radar intercept officer, Don Monk, was kneeling in his seat looking back and calling these MiGs. So anyway, I'm getting low on fuel, coming back to the ship, all right? The challenge is still not over, right? I only got 1 engine and I'm running out of gas fast. Again, my backseater saved my tail again. He called the ship and said, send a tanker out to us. We're not gonna make it back to the ship. We got a tank. We were over an undercast. We were 25,000 feet or so, and we were an undercast, so we couldn't see the ship or a tanker or anybody else. My backseater vectored this tanker in and vectored me around, turned me to port, turned the tanker to starboard. I put out the probe to plug in, and I had 300 pounds of jet fuel. The emergency light comes on at 2,100 pounds. The A3 tanker pops out of the cloud. He's got the basket there for me to plug into perfectly. I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect. I plug in to the drogue and start taking on gas. Okay, so I got enough to get back to the ship. I'm still not quite, I'm not calm yet. My flaps weren't working, and so I got to make a no flap single engine pass. It's going to be faster than normal. So, sure enough, by that time I had 100 carrier landings. I think I can do this. So I bring around and come down, perfect landing on the ship. And man, am I glad to be aboard the ship.
And see the entire film, Legends of Carrier Aviation, now streaming on Amazon and Tubi TV. Please like and share if you find the video content interesting.